Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy V, the 4-job Fiesta for TNV Small Critter Rescue. Last episode we saved right here at near the top of the North Mountain, and we got a boss battle coming up here. So Lenna sees her father's helmet there, goes over and grabs it. Interesting thing is you get a mithril helmet now in your inventory, so that actually was an item that you got. But she gets shot by an arrow here, and turns out we have a bounty hunter duo here. We learned that the hiyruu horn can fetch a high price, and looks like this lady is after the hiyruu horn. And now she realizes, hey, the Princess of Tycoon would fetch even bigger price. Faris goes to save her, and she slips off. But that's okay. Magissa lasts a little too early, because Faris manages to climb back up, and being a pirate, she has some rope with her, and she manages to create a little rope bridge for TNV and Galuf to get across, and we get to take on the boss here now. So, Lenna is going to start poisoned, which is makes sense because I mean she got shot by that poisoned arrow. So, this is first thing you want to do is you want to cast the mute on Magissa, because she casts a lot of different spells. You eventually have to use the mute several times, because sometimes you'll see that it'll wear off. And you don't want her to be hitting you with her drain spell, some of the ice spells, so do a lot of damage. So you have drain, that was the worst one, because it pretty much one-shots your character and gives her back all the hit points that she drains. So, like I said, just eventually continue to cast mute every so often to make sure that she stays silenced. You also want to put up a bunch of armor spells on your characters, one each, because after a little bit she's going to call her husband, Forza, and he hits really, really hard. So the armor is basically going to allow you to survive his attacks. So, now, even though once Forza appears, I still want to concentrate your attacks on Magician, because you just want to, like I said, Forza, all he does is hit you hard, where Magician, she can use those spells if you don't keep her muted, and she might hit you with a drain spell, so she's still kind of the more deadly of the two. So, once we finish her off, then I'll put Forza stats up there. And Forza, like I said, he hits hard, but as long as you have that armor up and you're in the back row, it's just a matter of taking him down over time. I had to fast forward this here because this battle took a long, long time to take off. As you can see, he has 850 hit points, and for the most part, we're doing 5 to 10 damage. Only when TNV hits a really good hit with that flail do we do decent damage, but for some reason he just seems to miss a lot. So, this is a good preview of what the next boss battle is going to be like. The next boss battle is going to be a pure physical attacker as well. And basically we're just going to rely on TNV getting good hits with the flail to deal a bunch of damage. Thankfully, once we defeat that boss, we'll get the new water crystal job, and I'll actually be able to do some damage. But like I said, this boss ain't tough, just like I said, annoying. As long as you have the armor spell up on all your characters, just stay in the back row, you heal eventually, you'll have no problem taking Forza down. It's just a matter of, time. So, same with the next boss, too, although it's a little bit tougher. Forza's, you're lucky that he only does strong attacks. With the next boss does strong attacks, and sometimes they inflict a sap status, so you'll lose hit points gradually. But alright, and we all gain a level 3 for our white mage, and we get a whip and a power. We can't use that power drink because that's only something that a chemist can use, or someone with a drink command, which you learn from being a chemist. So we won't be able to use that. So. And there's the hiyruu up there. And up to the upper right, you see that little green grass there? That's the hiyruu plant, and unfortunately Lenna has to walk through that poison grass to get it. So she's been poisoned second time here on this mountain. But luckily we're white mages and can cast the antidote spell. But even if you're not a white mage, turns out I guess the hiyruu is immune to that poison, and he's going to cure Lenna. Give her a nice big lick and clean out the poison. You can see that Lenna's her compassion for animals here. It's going to show through a bunch of times in this playthrough. But yeah, she was willing to hurt herself to save the hiyruu. Alright. Now we can finally fly. Unfortunately, it turns out the TNV is kind of scared of heights. Guess that makes sense why he doesn't have a black chocobo and just chose to have a ground chocobo. But anyway, I see here Galuf forces him on. We're gonna learn why TNV has that fear of heights later on. You can go eventually to his hometown, and you get a little cutscene there. And in that cutscene, they explain why he has that fear of heights. But that's much later on in the game. For now, we're just going to take our hiyruu. We could go back to Tycoon Castle. The hiyruu can fly over that meteorite, but instead we're just going to head down to Worus here, where the water crystal is. That's the whole point of getting the hiyruu. King Worus is great. He's using the power of the water crystal for the good of us all. To the north is Worus Tower. That's where all the town's water comes from. And we'll go check out that tower. We won't be able to do anything in the tower because they have a sequence block there. We don't want to come into this house though to get another accessory, the glasses. They prevent the dark status, which is basically the blind status. The town is protected from the monsters by the water. So let's put those glasses on somebody here. Now only Faris needs another piece of equipment, an accessory. Let's wander around here. Once again, not much we can really buy here in the stores. All white mages are really stuck with really bad equipment, so we will end up wanting to buy those regal cutlasses then, because our next job, the Magic Knight, casts spells on their sword. So obviously they can use swords, and we definitely want to get those swords. Finally get some good offense. We'll also be able to buy that armor equipment for them. But for now, we're just stuck. The crystal's in Worus Tower. And those gorillas down there. You know, they're really nice. They don't attack people. They just basically stood around. Remember, we got to a fight with it and ran away eventually. Gave you no experience, no gold, but it does give you 1 job point. Here we have the magic shop, but none of the magic we can use here. That gray, it looks like, and it's gray and has like a little clock hands on it. Those are time magics. And one of the jobs you can get from the water crystal is time mage, and they cast spells that kind of alter time and the flow of time in battle. And then the other spells there were summon spells. Another job you can get from the water crystals is a summoner, and they basically summon monsters to basically come out and fight around. But we don't have any access to any of those jobs, and none of the time magic is going to be used on like one of those magic swords, so we don't have to worry about buying any of them. We will spend a night here at the inn, heal ourselves up. And Worus is a pretty small town, so we don't have much to do. The castle is much, much bigger. We're spending more time in the castle. But we won't be getting everything in the castle, because there's a really tough monster in the one dungeon, in the dungeon of the castle. And basically we have no way to defeat it. So, we won't be able to even run from it, so... You can't enter the tower without permission from the King of Worus. Who are you? Get out! Get out! So yeah, this is the tower where the water crystal is. And as you see, we can't go into it, so we're gonna have to talk with the king, get permission first. But the king isn't going to be very happy to talk with us. You know, we're the ones telling him like, hey, you gotta shut down the machine, or the crystal will break. And everyone in the town, as you saw, likes the king because he's using the power of the crystal to basically keep the town safe from monsters. There's rumor that the treasure sleeps in this basement. Being protected by the power of water, the kingdom of Worus is invincible. So let's head down here. There's a bunch of different places in here. People down in the dungeon are trash. Don't listen to them no matter what they say. Well, let's go down to the dungeon and talk with them. So we've got 3 prisoners here. This lone wolf, we can actually let him out. And if you do let him out, he takes some treasures. And you'll find, instead of the treasures there, you'll get this card that basically says, like, you know, the great lone wolf, thief lone wolf was here. But we're not going to let him out. I did let him out in one of the previous Fiestas. That guy, we could say we want to let him out, but when you say yes, he just goes all crazy and knocks himself out. So, yeah, just, you can say yes or no to him. To the lone wolf, though, you basically just want to say no. Otherwise, he, like, say, he takes some items from you. Not important. So we can get outside the castle, walk around the moat, but there's nothing in the moat. In some other future castles, there'll be treasure in moats, but not here. And going out this side here, we get to the back. There's a tower back here, and it's its own little separate dungeon. I talked about summoners. There's a summon monster that we can get in here, but we're too weak just as white mages, and there's no reason for us to go in here to get that summon monster. Because we'll never be able to use it. But I will come back there just, you know, for 100% completion. I'll come back when I have the Magic Knights. Because they'll be able to, the summon there is Shiva, the ice summon. Weak to fire, so we'll be able to get the fire swords and deal a lot of damage. So here's the basement. I'm lucky I went down here, and even in that one step, there's a monster there, and someone's going to talk about it. One of the soldiers. Basically, it always back attacks you, so it always gets like first strike on you, and basically it's immune to most damages. If you're in a monster called Galuf, you're toast. That's the monster, and yeah, it's really hard to run from. So yeah, it's pretty much gonna wipe you out. So certain jobs can take care of it really easy. Like ninjas can take care of it by throwing a star at it. Thieves can use their innate ability to never be back attacked, and then they have the flee ability, so they can run from any monster except for like bosses. So that's an easy way to get through there. Beastmasters can control the Galuf and then run away from it after it's controlled. But all jobs right now that we have, not going to be able to do anything with it, so we'll just have to come back later to get that treasure. There's mainly gold. There's a spell down there, but the best thing down there is an accessory, the Elf Mantle, and basically it helps you dodge 1/4 of all physical attacks. So that guy mentions about the Esper Shiva being frozen by the water crystal, and that's your clue about Shiva in the tower that I showed earlier. You can get that summoned, but that'll be for return trip later on. Yeah, there's no point in doing it now because we'll never benefit from Shiva, so. But hopefully we can benefit the people of Worus here by telling the king to shut off the crystal. Why, Princess and Princess Lenna, King Worus, it's been a long time. Please stop amplifying the power of the water crystal immediately. You must be kidding, we can't do that. Thanks to the crystal, we can all live in wealth and abundance. But if you continue, the crystal will shatter. I've heard about the wind crystal. But we can't be sure the same will happen to the water crystal, and the people would be against it. We're in no situation to be taking chances. Uh-oh. Yeah, the screen goes red, so something bad is happening. But it's not the crystal breaking. It's something else. It's another meteorite coming to crash down. Well, one of those crashed right before the wind crystal broke. So maybe the meteorites have something to do with the crystals breaking. Because now we're worried about the water crystal, and a meteorite crashes. Your Highness, the meteor has fallen near the tower. What? Quickly, gather soldiers, head for the tower. Yes, sir. You're gonna take off? I'm sorry, but this is very urgent business. Prince Lenna, let's discuss this again at a later time. Let's go. We don't really have much of a later time, because King is gonna head to that tower, and unfortunately, he's not gonna make it too far into the tower before he is injured. I guess monsters, that meteorite came by. Now the monsters somehow managed to get into the tower. And yeah, we're gonna have to. We heard that a meteor fell near Worus Tower north of here. Yep. So we're gonna head that way. The king went to the meteor. He's gonna sell some few new things, but nothing really important. And now it's time for us to head to the meteor. Although when we go to the meteor, unlike the meteor near Tycoon Castle, we're not going to find anyone here. Like we found Galuf in that meteor, and the princess. But yeah, nothing going on here with this meteor. So we're just going to turn around, and then we're going to head over to the tower here. I don't want to step in the tower yet. I want to save my game. Because like I said, the tower is a short dungeon. But there's some pretty tough monsters that give our white mage some trouble, so come back in the next episode to check it out. Take care, have a good one. Bye.